Welcome back. The United Nations Under-Secretary General for Humanitarian Affairs and Emergency Relief Coordinator Mark Lowcock has met with Malawi's government leaders and development partners. During his two-day mission to the country, he visited Salima district to hear the stories of many struggling through the current lean season and to also see firsthand the positive impact cash assistance and water sanitation and health services financed from the UN Central Emergency Response Fund is having.
The harvest was not so good last year. There was the fall armyworm problem, but also the rains were erratic, and we wanted to make sure the United Nations was at your disposal in relieving the suffering of the people through that period. And so I was pleased some time ago to release $10 million from the Central Emergency Response Fund, which is a fund that I manage on behalf of the member states and to which member states contribute, to help with the easing of the of people through the hungry season.
The United Nations Human Rights Office in Burundi has been forced to close at the demand of the government. The Burundian authorities suspended cooperation with the Human Rights Office in 2016 and insist there is no longer any need for such an office as they have made so much progress on human rights. The UN Commissioner for Human Rights begs to defer, saying much of this progress has been put into serious crisis since 2015 when President Pierre Nkurunziza decided to run for a third term in office, prompting months of violence. The UN Human Rights Office was set up in Burundi in 1995 following a wave of ethnic killings. Analysts say the event of 2015 showed that Burundi is still fragile, with the potential for political and ethnic violence lurking just below the surface. A South African star, Mandla Mapintsha Mapomolo, has been arrested after a video appearing to show him assaulting his musician girlfriend was posted on her Instagram page at the weekend. Authorities say the suspect in the Babes Wodumo assault case has been arrested and is currently in police custody and is expected to appear in court soon. His girlfriend, Bongi Kilesimelane, known by the stage name Babes Wodumo, is a star in her own right. The clip of her assault was shared widely and sparked outrage. Violence against women is a major problem in South Africa. A 2016 study by Statistics SA found that 1 in 5 women report that they have experienced violence at the hands of a partner. Libyan kite surfers skillfully used the wind to their advantage at a competition in Benghazi, where a win can bring them closer, one step closer, to representing their country in an African championship. The Benghazi Championship was held at the Palm Beach Resort and was organized by Libya's National Union for Sailing and Water Sports.
Libyan kite surfers set sail in the wind in the local championship in the city of Benghazi, hoping that their kite journeys would land them at the 2019 African Beach Games in Cape Verde. Competitors took to the sea in strong winds and cold water, which, although difficult, were favorable conditions for kite surfing. Armed with their kites, protective gear and equipment, the surfers leapt into waves and cleverly maneuvered in the wind. Among the people who took part in the race was Hafet Al-Buba, who hopes that more people get the chance to pick up the sport at a young age.
I hope there could be more of this game, so that even young people could start learning to play it. I hope that many are able to practice this game. I hope that the winners of Libya qualifiers will go to the African Championships and end up competing.
Another competitor, Yasser Bouthan, said there were no schools or trainers in 2012, and so he and his friends sought knowledge from the internet, hoping he could be good enough to qualify for international championships one day. He is one step closer to that dream with his win at the Benghazi race, qualifying him to compete on the national level. The old center of Benghazi still lies in ruins from the conflicts that ended in the city in 2017. But from the ashes of war, many new establishments were born, including kite surfing schools and training centers. Winners of the competition in Benghazi are due to compete with winners from other Libyan cities, and the top performers on the national level will represent Libya in the African Games due between June 14th and 23rd.
Let's take you to Egypt now, where a maker of stringed instruments such as violins or guitars sets the tone for Cairo's music scene. Abdul Sakar's guitar repair workshop lives on amidst the city's music society, building and repairing musical instruments with detail and care. Take a look.
Egyptian guitar customizer Adel Sakar is keeping his childhood passion for the instrument alive in his dimly lit workshop in Cairo. The luthier opened his workshop in 2006 and has since then fixed thousands of instruments and put vintage guitars on display for enthusiasts to enjoy watching. The 58-year-old musician was fond of working with wood since he was a child. He would roam the streets to search for a piece of wood to cut. It was a joyful moment when young Sakar created an instrument with one string and actually heard a melody.
Many told me it is a passion, and I truly do love working on guitars. I love repairing them and building them from scratch. I used to make guitars before, but unfortunately, we had to stop in Egypt, mostly because all the elements from which a guitar is made have to be imported from abroad.
Sakar has a degree in music and followed his dreams all the way to Germany, where he studied and worked in a local workshop for 11 years. Upon his return to Egypt, he launched his workshop where he fixed his guitars, and while he used to make them from scratch, the process became very costly recently.
It draws me. It is tempting to be naturally drawn to being a craftsman, to dismantle things and put them back together. These things become very clear in childhood. As children, many of us like to dismantle things and put them back together. Sometimes we ruin them and our fathers yell at us. But when we get older, we become very skillful.
Sakar repairs nearly 150 guitars per month, and his list of customers features names of leading stars of the musical scene, including one of the country's leading band, Kairoki.
Well, that's it on the program today. Thanks for watching. I'm Teniola Shobwale. Bye for now.